Okay, first of all, please excuse if this sounds odd. I haven't recorded in like over a year, so I literally just recorded the video before this, or that's going to be uploaded before this. So that will have been Heather Starr's leader ceremony, which you might have watched since I've got spoilers for this video, and I've got to stop ranting. Anyway, so I basically decided that since I was playing Smokeclan on the online version on my iPad, that as soon as I got a laptop, I was going to start a new one, and I got it at Christmas. Yes, I am. Yes, I am slow at making videos. Do not judge me. But yeah, so I basically started a new one. I'll be, trying to make this quickly. As in, like, trying to get videos out quickly. This isn't rushed. I mean, it is kind of rushed. I don't want any background noise, so I'm trying to record this while my family's out of the house. But anyway. Oh god, this is extremely unprofessional. Anyway. So, yeah. Just make this clear, this is a hobby, and, I won't have, like, a schedule for uploading, just, I don't know, every 2 months, I would say, is about the smallest gap I can promise you. I'm not sure. But, anyway, let's get into Bunkerclan Year 1. I don't know why I named it Bunkerclan. Anyway, let's go. So, first up, we have our Star Clan guide, the adventurous 14-moon-old Lightpelt. Lightpelt was a loner before he joined us, and he had carried on the traditional naming ways of the clans after hearing about it from a kidnapped kitty pet who had basically been taken from their old home. One day he was crossing a thunderpath, and he was run over by a monster. And then he was approached by Basil Leap, and well, the rest is in the animatic of Heather Starr's later ceremony. So yeah, this is just me figuring out stuff. Okay, moving on. So next up we got Dreamheart. The troublesome good speaker. She's also a learner of lore. She was the oldest cat to originally join the clan, and to be honest, she was basically just a liability. Dreamheart was a bit too old to understand the rules of the warrior code, and had difficulty learning it, which led to her being caught and breaking the warrior code. Hang on a second, my dog's being annoying. Shush, please. Anyway, back to work. And she was actually caught breaking the warrior code several times with not knowing that eating kitty pet food wasn't allowed. Sorry, I just turned American for a second. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. No one really knows how Dreamheart died, but she was discovered dead by the Pike Clan border. So, and their leader, Apricot Star, is confident that it wasn't any of the Pike Clan warriors. However, how she died is very strongly debated and actually led to rising tensions. I will explain more about that when we get to the leader himself. Next up, we have the playful 205-moon-old Pachirisu. She was playful, had helpful insight, and was a good mediator. She was a former kitty pet who began to see Starkling cats in her dreams, but before she could take action herself, her true light trapped her in a bag. Some time passed, and soon the bag began to fill with water before being hauled onto land and rescued by Heatherstar and Skyrock. This incident did leave her with a broken jaw, and after her broken jaws had healed, she decided to go for a peaceful walk outside the camp without a warrior and ran into a dog, which unfortunately led to her death. Anyway, waiting for the speed paint to finish. Let's move on to our living cats. Right, so on to the living cats. First up, we've got our leader, Heatherstar. He's 81 moons old, charismatic, fast as the wind, and a great hunter. Heatherstar is the first leader of Bunkerclan, and despite the fact that he's had a hard time adjusting to not only living with other cats, but also being the leader of them, he is still supported by his clan. Along with the help of Skyrock, Heatherstar is the one who saved Patirius's life, and after he decided that she was no threat, he welcomed the old cat into Bunkerclan. Bunkerclan has had a war with Clan this year, and he was stressed constantly throughout it, as throughout the war, any wrong moves could have sparked a fight on the border, which I'm pretty sure one young apprentice did halfway through the year. He didn't get injured, but still. And Clan also managed to claim some territory throughout this, which led Heatherstar to meet with the leader, Apricot Star, to discuss ending the war. He was happy that it finally ended, and he's now starting to relax. Next up, we have our deputy, Primrip. He's 108 moons, adventurous, and a good mediator and hunter. Primrip hasn't done much in the clan, but is a responsible and good deputy. He's basically like a red tail. Does nothing, but it is still a good deputy. He was given Dandelion Paw to train as an apprentice and has done a decent job training him. He also took charge when his patrol encountered a loner named Stotefuzz, who we'll get to in literally a few seconds, and who offered his healing skills in exchange for shelter, which Primrip hesitantly agreed. Overall, he's a good deputy, and his clan knows that they can depend on him. I'm still waiting for the speed paint to finish here, so I just want to give my thoughts on him. He's a good boy. He's really fluffy, like really fluffy. Right. Okay. Next up, we have the oldest medicine cat, not the head, the oldest medicine cat, Stotefuzz, who is 81 moons old, loyal, and an excellent teacher. Stotefuzz used to be a wandering healer who travelled the fieldlands helping any injured or sick cats when he had the resources to do so. However, he soon overheard the other medicine cat, Nightcurrent, worrying while gathering herbs about not being in camp to look after a sick cat that was in their den. When the next patrol came along, he approached them and asked to join, explaining his concern for And asking if he could be accepted so that he could help her. Now he's glad he was accepted, and even though he hasn't had much time to prove what he can do, Nightcurrent is extremely grateful for his help, and Stotefuzz is the one who leaves camp to gather herbs so Nightcurrent can look after the clan. She's notably less stressed, but as head medicine cat, she's still, just stressed as usual. And as previously mentioned, on to Nightcurrent. So, our 78-moon-old senior medicine or head medicine cat is Nightcurrent. She's a careful prophet. Nightcurrent is the original medicine cat of the clan, and she's helped several cats with understanding visions, and, according to Heatherstar, is possibly one of the best medicine cats, according to Star Clan, apparently. She accidentally caught green cough before Stotefuzz arrived, but got over it in the next moon, while also being able to continue healing the clan. Nightcurrent is genuinely friendly with everyone, but the younger warrior Skyrock infuriates her for reasons I will explain in literally just a moment. Next up is the only cat that is currently in the medicine den, Skyrock. The bold, good mediator, young warrior. Skyrock is the only non-medicine cat that's in the medicine den, and no one can decide where he spends more of his time, the medicine den or the warrior's den. Don't believe me? This is a list, so listen carefully. He has got a cat bite from fighting a rogue, which we healed well from, had a vision which Nightcurrent reluctantly helped him with, caught white cough, and as soon as he recovered from it, got a bite when trying to take prey from a fox. This young warrior was trained by Mooncatcher and was honoured for his boldness at his warrior ceremony. This was before any of the incidents, ironically, but now it's pretty obvious why. Skyrock isn't the only cat who gets a sigh from Nightcurrent, but is still the only one that Nightcurrent is close to hating. Okay, next up onto our warriors. We have our oldest warrior here, Shadowspot, who is 121 moons, not retired, and is bold, a renowned hunter, and good storyteller. Shadowspot has chosen to stay a warrior for now, as she still has an apprentice, and she's also the cat who attacked Pachyrisu's two-leg so that Heatherstar and Skyrock could rescue her. Despite being a renowned hunter, she's actually slipped up a few times, as she once climbed up a tree and caught a squirrel, but fell out of it and was sore for a few days. Shadowspots was the cat who encouraged the rest of the patrol to wait when they ended up discovering a badger was making a den in Dogclan's territory, saying that they should warn the other clan. However, no one showed up. Despite her slip-up, she was granted responsibility to train the apprentice Bitternpaw. But on their first patrol, the young cat got a splinter from climbing a tree, and Shadowspots feels guilty because she believes that he should have known how to do it, but she didn't teach him enough. She did actually teach him enough, but her methods of teaching are usually telling stories to teach lessons, which usually works. Next up, the 89-moon-old bloodthirsty Marstrip. who you will see it does not have the name Marstrip in the speed paint. So before we get to his year, I want to mention that I actually gave Marstrip a complete rename. His name was Lightcatcher, but I thought, one, it didn't suit him, and two, we already had a Light Pelt in Starclan and a Mooncatcher in the Warrior Den. So I gave him a new name. Simple as that. You'll see me change it towards the end of the speed paint if I remembered to change it. Anyway. Yeah. So, over the year, Marstrip was asked out by an older cat, but actually ended up rejecting her, which led to her deciding to retire. He's overall just a good and reliable warrior and always puts the clan first, despite being a word I'm not going to say on here. Because I'm trying not to swear on the channel. But yeah, I would definitely call him that if I could. Next up. Mooncatcher. The 6-day moon-old righteous skilled mediator. Mooncatcher is a warrior who appears to be a strict rule follower and a loyal clan cat. She's the first one to become a mediator as she was made. Sorry, that's meant to be mentor. She was the first one to be made a mentor as she was the one entrusted with mentoring Skyrock. I feel sorry for her. However, this year she also contributed to the clan by having a litter of kits. The clan doesn't know who the father is, as she's chosen to hide that fact, but the father is either a rogue or loner. So her kits, Bittern Paw, Malpaw, and Dandelion Paw, are clan-born, but they have the blood of a cat outside the clan. When her kits were apprenticed, she was more than happy that her kits were being trained by some of the most trustworthy cats in the clan. She secretly hopes that she'll never have to see her mate again, as she has a slight one-sided crush on the warrior Raindapple, and also hopes that she'll never have to tell her kits, as they have a good relationship and trust with her. Next up, the aforementioned Raindapple. We've got a big age gap here with 44 moons old, insecure, and a great runner. Raindapple is a warrior that, despite her insecure nature, has proved her use to the clan and is a noble cat. Early in the year on a patrol, she was spotted arguing and borderline fighting with a loner, and when she returned to the patrol, they revealed that they saw her argument, and she became very embarrassed and just asked the patrol to just keep going. She also received a vision that Nightcurrent was able to help make sense of, and when Shadowspot suggested that they should wait for Dog Clan patrol, Raindapple strongly disagreed with her, being worried that the other clan will be hostile and think they are invading. She was also granted permission to mentor Malpaw and is trying her best to be a good role model for the young cat, has a respectful relationship with him. And I didn't note this down in the script, so this is completely added, but I have to say this, seeing that I have played year 2 and I know what happens. Raindapple does not like Mooncatcher back. And yeah, I will tell you what happens in year 2. Because it is very unexpected. And I mean, like, extremely unexpected. Anyway, on to the apprentices. First up, we have the adventurous Bittern Paw. Veteran Paw is basically the leader of his siblings and the most well-known around the clan. He also picked up Yellowcloth as a kid, and after 2 moons, he managed to persuade Nightcurrent to prove him to leave the den, as his siblings were going to be made apprentices, and he didn't want to be left out. He was given Shadow Spots as his mentor, who he doesn't really have a relationship with, as his first patrol was his solo one, and on his second one he got a splinter from climbing a tree, and it had to be cut short. Veteran Paw is the other cat that annoys Nightcurrent every time it gets sent to her den. Despite his attitude, he actually doesn't like to fight and is surprisingly good at quickly making peace. Next up, we have the rowdiest of the litter, Mallowpaw. Despite his name, he is rowdy. Mallowpaw is troublesome and the underdog of his siblings, who is also a bit reckless, living up to his troublesome nature and sometimes lets his imagination run a bit too wild. As a kid, he was play fighting with his siblings and took it a bit too seriously, which led to him getting bruised, and when questioned, he said that all he saw in front of him was an enemy that had to be taken down, and he wasn't going to let him win. Needless to say now, his mother, Mooncatcher, keeps a good eye on him, even though she's not his mentor. On his solo patrol, he managed to take down a fox on his own. And I wrote down in the script how solo patrols work, but I realize I don't have time for that. And yeah. So, yeah. Mallowpaw took down a whole grey fox on his own without any warriors or present. Overall, he's a piece of work, except for his mentor Raindapple, who he seems to listen to and somehow respects. I don't know how she got him to do that either. Next up, we have the last of the litter, Dandelion Paw. Dandelion Paw is the most sensible and well-kept of the group, which has led to him being the most experienced of the three. Dandelion Paw hasn't really done much, but is still a valued member of the clan and is definitely needed to keep his siblings in check. He's eager to prove himself to his mentor, Primrip, who's also the deputy. The young apprentice hopes that if he can show his worth, that his mentor will pick him to be his deputy when the time comes, or at least recommend him to any future leaders. He will admit when he's wrong, or if he's being too vain, but he still holds himself to a high standard. I also forgot to put this in the script. I am being very sloppy with the script this year. But he's also got the very small body of his mother, Mooncatcher, which I also forgot to say in Mooncatcher's bit. They both have, unusually small bodies, they never grow out of apprentices. You'll see that in year 2. He's already small, but you will see that. Last up, we have Lavender Dawn, our only elder. She's 130 moons old. Childish, a great kit sitter, and has helpful insight. Her year has been quite uneventful as she decided to join this newly forming clan. She joined as a warrior. For a few moons, she was just a loyal and trustworthy warrior that did well on patrols despite being extremely childish. Lavender Dawn stayed as a warrior until she decided to ask out the younger warrior, Marstrip, who coldly rejected her, saying that the old cat had no chance with someone like him. After this, Lavender Dawn was crushed by his rejection and decided that she was old and it was time to retire. Despite retiring, she's still an active member of the clan, often going on walks. One of these walks, she misplaced her paw at the edge of a stream and fell in, leaving her with water in her lungs, which also led to a running nose. Sorry, I haven't had any lunch, and my stomach has rumbled. I don't know if you heard that, but if you did, I am so sorry. Anyway, which also led to a running nose, which Lavradon quickly recovered from. She still has a crush on Marstrip, but is desperately trying to hide it as to not annoy him any further. Right. That is it. That is year 1 of Bunkerclan. I've already played year 2. Safe to say there's quite a bit of drama. So, yeah, I'll see you guys for year 2. Or if you want the bloopers, I will put them up, because there are a lot. But yeah, there's not really much I need to say. I am going to put a rant that was recorded separately in here, so if anything doesn't match up with that, or if anything's repeated, I recorded that before this, so yeah, here's the rant. See you guys in the next video. Hey there, so this is not scripted in the slightest. Please ignore any background noise you just heard. I will also put bloopers if you want them, because I have like a ton. This has only been like a 10-minute recording session, if that. And I have like 6 bloopers because I have a major stutter and I cannot, record. But yeah, I'm back. I am back from the dead. I'm not sure if anyone's gonna care. I will point out, though, who is the saint? Who is the saint that saw this broken train wreck of a channel and thought, hey, that's the channel I want to see? Who is my 7th subscriber? Who is that angel? I do not know who you are, but thank you. Yes! Because, I don't check it regularly. And I'm sorry this is a rant. I don't check it regularly, but I check it, every month or so, just because I'm curious. This must have been recent, this month. Who is the saint that did that? Thank you. And I am so sorry. Rant over. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want the bloopers, I'll give you them. Okay? Bye. I still don't have an outro. I'm gonna try and come up with an intro that might take a year, because I'm gonna try and animate it. I don't suspect it'll work, but anyway. Go let my dog out, so I'll see you guys later.